The island in WWE 2k25 could ruin the franchise. Why? Well, in this video, we're going to explain why this could be the worst thing ever. Before we get into the video, I do want to shout out that none of the footage from 25 is from me. This is from other creators in the space, and if I do use their footage, I'll link their channels and the video in the description so you can go check out their channels. Alright, let's get into the video. So let's start at the top. The reason, probably the main reason why I'm so worried about this mode, and it's probably pretty obvious if you've been paying attention. It's the microtransactions. If there is one thing I hate more in gaming than anything else, it is microtransactions and the over monetization of video games and just the absolute greediness of companies. I hate it. I think it's terrible, and I've never bought one of these things in my life. And I guarantee you, the island is going to be filled with the brim of microtransactions everywhere. No matter what, it doesn't matter. You're going to see these everywhere. You're going to have to buy shirts. You're going to have to buy tights. You're going to have to buy shoes. You're going to have to buy, you know, whatever. You know, you might have to buy your own face so they can, you know, squeeze money out of you. And I guarantee there's also going to be product placement too. You might see an ad for like Netflix or something. The point is that this mode is going to be the 2K wants this to be the money maker mode. They want to charge you for everything. And I think that microtransactions are going to be in this game, and they're going to be crazy. Like, they're going to be everywhere, and it's going to be wanting you to buy. All right. I think everyone, when they saw the island, they pretty much knew, and it was also confirmed in like the pre-order bonus that if you pre-order the game, you get cosmetics for the island. So that's basically confirms it. That 100% confirms that this is going to be microtransaction heavy, and it might not be bad at first, but it's probably going to get more and more greedier as time goes on. Alright, now that I've talked about the microtransaction side of things, I also want to talk about how this could affect the game going forward. Speaking of game going forward, CAW, Creative Wrestler. This has been around for over 20 years in every game since SmackDown 1 in 1999. And this has been one of the core aspects of wrestling games, the bread and butter, if you will. Their incredible creation suite. Their creation suite is top tier. So what could the island do to make this worse? They could start nerfing it. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's say that you unlock an item in the island and you might be able to use it. So it's possible that they take items out of the Creative Wrestler and lock them behind the island, so you can't just make a Creative Wrestler, you know, out of the blue. That they could nerf the Creative Wrestler mode just so you have to play the island to get the cosmetics. Like, for example, what if they lock Uncle Howdy? What if they lock the Uncle Howdy thing behind it, you know? So the COD mode, which is my favorite thing about wrestling games, to be able to create crazy ass wrestlers, could be heavily nerfed because they want you to buy money for this crap. Taking time away from other modes. Now, we do know that there are modes in this game that are not quite up to snuff. One of those obviously being Universe mode. A sandbox mode that has all this potential but is never realized. If this mode, the island, is successful, they're not going to focus on Universe mode as much. Same thing with My Faction. They're both connected. If these two modes make a lot of money, they're not going to give a crap about Universe mode. You know? Another thing about this mode specifically, it's always online. It's always online, which means you cannot play it without being connected to the internet. And the more bad thing is, once the server shut down after like, I don't know, 2027, because I think that's when they'll shut down, like January 2027, you cannot play this mode anymore. You cannot buy anything. You cannot use any of the microtransactions that you paid for this mode. It's basically a dead mode. Just the same thing with My Faction and all these other modes, is that they're basically dead. You can't do anything with it. All the money that you've spent on this mode is gone to nothing. It's gone. It's just completely gone. No access to purchases. It's done. And frankly, and this is a side tangent, this should be illegal. All right. Imagine buying something, imagine spending thousands of dollars on these cosmetics or whatever, and then 2K just takes away the thing. Like, this shit should be illegal, bro. Like, why I don't know, man. Game companies get away with a lot. I touched on this in the COD mode being nerfed. Another thing that could be nerfed because of this, community creations. Now, community creations is the bedrock of these games for me. I love downloading CODs and finding things on the CC, getting updated arenas, updated superstars. It's great. However, there's a possibility, and this is not, I want to make it clear, this has not been confirmed by 2K. There has been a rumor spreading around that community creations might be limited between the next gen and the last gen. If that happens, that really sucks. That really sucks. And especially for PC players. PC players are basically getting the last gen version, and the reason being is because of mods. Point blank. There are versions of the game where you can buy the entire trainer set of 2k25. You just buy it. So they probably just want to prevent mods from happening. So yeah. Community creations can get heavily nerfed because of this. Like, what's the status, for example? Probably the biggest, most famous creator in the space is on PC. So he's not going to be able to do PS5 and Xbox Series. And who's to say you can't use island cosmetics on the CC, you know? It's just, I think it's going to negatively affect the community creations. And a lot of people love that stuff, man. A lot of people love community creations. I also want to talk about something that is used in these microtransactions modes. The fear of missing out. Now, what is FOMO? So fear of missing out, basically, they hype up something and they make you want to like buy it. Like, they activate your dopamine in your brain to make you go like, I have to buy this right now or it's gone forever. This is incredibly shady. I find this to be very deceptive because it's just, I don't know, man. It makes me feel icky. It honestly makes me feel icky. Because, like, the Persona cards, for example. The Persona cards are the biggest example of the fear of missing out. So they have the new Persona card. They hype it up and say, hey, there's a new Roman Reigns model in my faction. And they only give you, like, what, 13 days or something to get it? And then it's gone forever? That's the fear of missing out. Gamer, and this is probably another big reason why microtransactions are so popular, is because people have this fear of missing out on something. And it changes them a bit. So yeah, fear of missing out. The prices. All right, so we know that this mode's gonna have microtransactions everywhere, but how expensive is it gonna be? Well, we really don't know, but we do see some prices, like some virtual currency for some of the items, like right here. I also saw a post on Reddit that shows how expensive these things could be, and oh boy, if this is true, this is bad. $3 for shoes, $8 for shorts, $12 for a jacket. What's next? A furry suit for like $50? Or Hatsune Miku skin for 75 bucks? Please don't listen to this, 2K. Please don't take these ideas for the love of God. But yeah, the prices could be really, really bad in this game mode. I'm curious how expensive this shit's gonna be, because if it is expensive, whoo boy, looks like I'm gonna be a brown shirt for a while. If we're comparing it to NBA 2K, which the WWE 2K team has been trying to emulate NBA 2K as much as possible, the biggest comparison between the island is something called the city. Now, I don't play NBA 2K at all, but to sum it up, the city is basically like this mode. You walk around, buying stuff, leveling up your character, etc., etc. And this mode, unsurprisingly, has microtransactions galore, and it's also heavily... The city is not great. It's just a microtransaction filled galore, and it's kind of a chore because they make you walk. You can't fast travel in the mode, which is so shitty. Like, that's just... So yeah, it's basically the city, and that mode is not liked by the NBA community at all. People do not like that crap. So if that's the direction the franchise is going, ugh, not a fan. And that is pretty much all my main points about why I think the island could be the worst thing added to W2K. But before I go, I got a message for you. So my message to you, the average 2K player that might be playing this mode. If you're gonna burn your money on something dumb, go buy something that won't be taken away from you in 2 years. Go spend that $20 on that Hatsune Miku Fortnite skin. Or maybe on a meme coin that has as much value as a cosmetic that, hey, if they rug pull me, then I can sue and make my money back. Or, you know, you could just not spend it at all and save it for something. You know, that's a thought. Anyways, thanks for watching and take care of yourself.